Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered if we are truly alone? What if I told you there's a spiritual family, a cloud of witnesses cheering you on, a family of heroes who won the ultimate victory not with swords, but with love? Welcome to the Heart of Catholicism YouTube channel, the Catholic path to peace, where God's faith changes our lives. Today, we journey into the heart of one of the Church's most beautiful celebrations, All Saints' Day. Why do we celebrate the saints? Is it just a day to remember historical figures, or is it something more profound, something alive and active in our lives right now? All Saints' Day is a feast for all saints, both the famous ones we know by name and the countless unknown souls who now rest in God's eternal light. They are the quiet heroes, the unsung champions of faith, whose lives echo a powerful truth. They conquered not by power, but by love. The story of All Saints' Day begins not in triumph, but in sacrifice. Its roots stretch back to the 4th century, a time when the early Church was forged in the fires of persecution. Christians, facing unimaginable suffering for their faith, began to honor the martyrs, those who had paid the ultimate price for their love of Christ. Initially, these celebrations were local, held on the anniversary of a martyr's death. But as the number of martyrs grew, it became impossible to dedicate a separate day to each one. A collective feast was needed. By the 8th century, Pope Gregory III consecrated a chapel in St. Peter's Basilica to all the saints, and fixed the date of the celebration to November 1st. From Rome, this beautiful tradition spread throughout the Christian world, a universal testament to a faith that transcends borders, cultures, and even time itself. But what is the deep spiritual truth behind this celebration? It's a concept both simple and breathtakingly profound: the communion of saints. This isn't just a theological term, it's a living reality. The Church teaches that we are all part of one mystical body in Christ, a family that connects heaven, purgatory, and earth. The saints in heaven, the souls being purified in purgatory, and we, the faithful, still on our earthly pilgrimage, are bound together by love and prayer. The saints are not distant, untouchable figures on pedestals. They are our family in faith, our older brothers and sisters who have already finished the race and now intercede for us. This feast reminds us of another core belief, the universal call to holiness. Sainthood isn't reserved for a select few, for popes, nuns, or mystics. It is a call extended to every single one of us, right where we are. It is the call for the teacher, the nurse, the parent, the student, the artist, and the laborer to live a life of heroic love in their ordinary circumstances. When we speak of the saints, we speak of their triumph. This isn't a worldly triumph of power or wealth. It is a spiritual victory, a battle won through radical love, unwavering faith, and courageous sacrifice. Think of Saint Francis of Assisi, who renounced riches to embrace poverty and saw Christ in the leper. Think of Saint Teresa of Calcutta, who found Jesus in the poorest of the poor on the streets of India, reminding the world that every life has dignity. Consider the astonishing courage of Saint Maximilian Kolbe, who, in the darkness of Auschwitz, offered his own life to save a fellow prisoner, a husband and father. Their lives were not easy. They faced chaos, opposition, and doubt, just as we do. But their triumph was in their perseverance, in their refusal to let the world's darkness extinguish God's light within them. Their fight is still our fight. Their victory gives us hope for our own. While the canonized saints inspire us from heaven, their witness is not confined to the past. Holiness is alive and well, right here among us. All Saints' Day is also a celebration of the hidden saints, the everyday witnesses who reflect God's love in our own lives. Take a moment and think. Who are the saints in your life? Perhaps it's a grandparent whose quiet faith was a steady anchor for your family. Maybe it was a teacher who saw your potential and refused to give up on you. It could be a friend who showed you unconditional forgiveness, or a parent whose daily sacrifices were a living sermon of selfless love. These are the saints next door, the people whose lives, often lived far from the spotlight, make holiness real and attainable. They bridge the gap between the grand stories of the past and our own lived experience, reminding us that the path to heaven is walked one small, loving step at a time. This brings us to the true meaning of victory. In a world that often defines success by wealth, status, or influence, the saints offer a revolutionary alternative. Their victory is the one described by St. John, for whatever is born of God overcomes the world, and this is the victory that overcomes the world, our faith, 1 John 5-4. Their glory was not found in a life free from struggle, but in their endurance through it. Their holiness was forged in the crucible of daily trials, in choosing love when it was hard, in holding on to hope when despair loomed, and in trusting God's plan even when they could not see the path ahead. This is a message of incredible power for us today. When you feel overwhelmed, when your faith is tested, when you struggle to find meaning, remember this. Your struggle in faith today is part of the same victory. Every act of kindness, every prayer whispered in secret, every moment of choosing patience over anger is a share in their triumph. In our modern age, this ancient feast has never been more relevant. We live in a culture that glorifies fleeting fame and digital likes, where influence is measured by follower counts. The saints offer a powerful counter-narrative. They show us that true greatness is not found in being known by many, but in knowing and loving the one who matters most. They valued truth in an age of deception, humility in a world of pride, and selfless love in a culture of self-obsession. Their lives challenge us to ask deeper questions. What is truly worth living for? What is the legacy I want to leave behind? Most importantly, they show us that holiness is not a burden. It is the source of authentic joy. It is the freedom that comes from living in alignment with God's purpose for our lives. So, how can we celebrate All Saints' Day in a way that is truly meaningful? It's about more than just remembering. It's about participating. First, consider attending Mass. It is the highest form of worship, where we join our prayers with the entire communion of saints in heaven. Second, make it personal. Choose one saint to learn about this year. Read their story, discover what they stood for, and ask for their prayers. You might be surprised how their life speaks to your own. Third, perform a simple act of mercy. The saints became holy by living out the gospel. Visit someone who is lonely, donate to a food bank, or offer a word of encouragement to someone who is struggling. In these small acts, you make their spirit of love present in the world today. Share these traditions with your family and friends, turning a day of remembrance into a living celebration of faith. Let us take a moment to reflect on this beautiful reality. The book of Revelation gives us a stunning vision of heaven, a great multitude, which no one could count, from every nation, from all tribes and peoples and tongues, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. Revelation 7-9. This is the family we celebrate. It is a crowd of breathtaking diversity, men and women, young and old, from every corner of the earth and every walk of life, united in one triumphant song of praise. They are not a silent, distant audience. They are an active, cheering crowd. A great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, encouraging us to run our race with perseverance. Their song continues. Will we join in their chorus? In the end, All Saints' Day is a profound message of hope. It is a reminder that we are not destined for mediocrity, but for greatness, the greatness of holiness. The saints show us that with God's grace, it is possible to live a life of extraordinary love in ordinary circumstances. To celebrate the saints is to believe that holiness is still possible for you, for me, for all. Thank you for joining us on the Catholic Path to Peace. If this message inspired you, please like this video and share it with others who may need to hear it. Comment below and tell us about a saint in your own life who has inspired you. By sharing our stories, we become part of this living community of witnesses. Subscribe to the Heart of Catholicism channel for more content that nourishes the soul and deepens our faith. May the example of all the saints inspire you, and may their prayers guide you on your own path to holiness. God bless you.